effort in designating some of our land spaces the one government has been able to acquire to put together structures that will serve as the learning places for people who are ready to take up a skill. So before we delve into that conversation, let me remind you to shine your eyes when you receive urgent text messages or emails about your bank account. We have so many fake accounts websites. They look like your bank. They have same logo. They have same color, same design. They may send you links asking you to verify your details or risk losing your access to that account. Once you enter your information, they can take control of your account. Before you click, check the link. You need to check carefully because some fake links may appear genuine at first glance, but a certain slight differences such as extra letters, missing letters, or numbers replacing words. Others may use long and confusing web addresses or shortened links that hide their real website. Never click suspicious links. Instead, quickly visit your bank's official website. For information, you can also contact your bank directly by using your bank's official phone number. Please shine your eyes, spot the fraud, stop the fraud. This is brought to you by the Ghana Association of Banks. So like I said, the Upper East region on the 29th, actually from the 29th, we'll have a 3-day program specially designed to put together a document called PEL. They are looking at empowering our enterprises, making our Greek more lucrative. We want to be a resilient region. But what conscious efforts are we making in the area of technical training? This morning, I am privileged to have Jacob Avogo, who is CEO of Grow Africa Ghana. Honorable David. Honorable David Volming, PTA Regional Secretary, Upper East Region. Mr. Charles Atem, former municipal NAT chairman. So let me cross over for us to begin with our discussion because it promises to be very educative. And I want to entreat you to stay tuned in because we have valuable people in the studio when it comes to the area of education. They are endowed in diverse forms. These are resources we shouldn't be joking with as a region. Good morning to you, gentlemen, and thank you very much for coming. Let me allow you re-mention your names. It's like I murdered some of them. Yes, so let me start with my good friend. Are you in town?
No, I went to Iran and then
I can see that immediately I saw you. I knew you went to Iran.
Because there is a conflict there and I have to be deported. And I attempted going to Ukraine, and Ukraine said no.
Okay.
I had no place there. Likewise, Russia, so I had to return.
We equally don't need you here, so start looking for another place to go
Maybe
to.
I might be thinking of South Africa if only they will accept me.
All right, how are you? It's been a while.
Oh, by His grace, we are doing well.
Yes, so introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Charles Atakbiri Atim, immediate past municipal chairman for Ball Government.
And you are, sir?
I'm Honorable Volmeng David, Upper East Regional PTA Secretary, Chairman for Zamsis PTA, Chairman for Head Teachers, among others.
Among others, can you please go on and on and on and on?
If you want him to, they will break us. That is why I take all your time.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so to you.
Yeah, I'm Jacob Avogo. I'm an entrepreneur for Blue Africa Ghana. That's the name of my company.
Okay.
I'm into welding and fabrication of farm machines like trailers, water tankers, sprayers, drilling rigs, and a lot.
Wow.
I'm also into road safety. Small businessman. Small one.
A big one. We know you.
Small businessman.
Well, so listening to the introduction so far, it should tell you that the topic we are going to deal with today is going to be dealt with very well, because these are men that really understand education. To be the head of PTA means that, because sometimes parents are very difficult to understand. They will not understand why they have to pay this, they have to pay that. As a head, you will have to explain to them why you need to come in and support, even though government says, let's not pay, let's not do this. Let me start with you, Mr. Jacob, because of what you do. How would you describe our acceptance of technical training in the past? I mean, and I don't know how far the past is. We used to think that technical vocation was a reserve for children that were not doing well. And so before your mother or father will ask you to go to a technical school, they say, oh, you're not so good in school. Go to a technical school and learn a vocation or something. How are we doing in that area now?
Okay, good morning to you and good morning to your cherished listeners. I think that nothing has changed. Absolutely
Really?
Nothing. That perception has not changed.
Oh.
Yes, we are still struggling to fix that. Today, let a student get grade 30, 35. Azukime. Akinta za carpenter. Azukime. Akinta za driving. Oh, he said danda head. You should go and learn mason. Mason. A danda head should build a house so you sleep in. A danda head should, you put your life in a danda head's hands to drive you. A lot. So that perception has not yet changed in any way. There's something that is those who are not good in class, they go to a technical school. And because of that too, I believe government have not also done much in bringing that particular perception into something that we'll get to understand and look. The way we think, that is not the way it is. Government have not done that. So you notice that even funding to the technical schools and the technical institutions is not that much.
Okay.
Not that much. These students go there, they come out, and they don't have anything to do. They can't do anything. They don't do nothing. They can't do any work.
They can't do any work. Why so? Is it that they don't have enough equipment in their, labs, or what exactly? Because definitely they would have to learn. If you are going to school to learn carpentry, before you come out, you should be able to at least form a table and chair.
Yes, you see, now, exactly, but our carpentry has gone beyond table and chair. Fine.
Yes.
That's just by the way. By then, you see, at the school, the lecture, they take them through theory, 80%.
Okay.
Practical, 20%. When they come out, the theory, they are not coming to use the theory much in their life or in their business space. It's the practical they are coming to use. So when you employ instructors or lecturers or tutors that are good in theory and are not good in practical, tell me, how will they teach these children or these students the practical aspect of the work, which they will need when they are out of school? That's number one.
Okay, so I'll come back to you. Let me go to the man that has a lot of portfolios. He he is the chairman of head teachers, and is that secondary schools?
No,
Oh,
basic level.
Basic level.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, but you are still chairman of head teachers.
Yeah.
Are we making conscious efforts as heads of institutions, especially at the secondary schools, to provide the needed materials for practicals? Or like he said, resource constraint. We don't have the money. We know what to do, but we don't have what it takes to do it.
Thank you, and good morning to your chair. You see, the issue is about politics. Yes, talk. You get to the actual privilege because I'm the regional PTA secretary. I have access to all the secondary schools, and I go through all of them. Almost all their labs are all this. All. So the kids there actually they don't do the practical. Only few of them. What then also came and worsened the situation was the introduction of the free cinema, whereby parents were curtailed from contributing to their war source. Head teachers or headmasters at the senior high school level, they cannot ask parents to pay for practical materials or pay money for them to buy practical materials for the kids to rely on. At the same time, government is saying that the case is free. Nobody should also collect anything for anything. Be surprised to note that when you get to some of the technical schools, I call them so-called technical schools, they are now relying on only the theory. He is saying 80-20. Me, I think it's 99-1.
That's bad.
Yeah. That's what I think, especially in our region. For example, the school I am, the school PTA chairman, it is a problem there. Even their labs, when you get there, almost all of them are not working. The head teacher's hands too are tied. They tie them behind. Because no head teacher has the right to ask parents to contribute money for practical. You'll be shocked that even their YC exams, the money government brings for them to use to conduct practical for the students is fully inadequate. It cannot run the practical. It cannot. Practically, it cannot. So at times, we have to intervene, call parents, indicate them why there's a need for them to contribute for the kids to do the practical. But because it is always their final year exams, parents usually always understand for that to happen. So they will do a top-up on what the government have brought for them to use for the practical. So for that issue, it is actually a challenge. Even he is saying the past was better. To me, what I'm observing, the past was far.
The technical schools were actually technical schools.
They were actually technical schools. Because I didn't know. I have a brother's son. I took care of him too. He went to one of the technical schools in the region. He cannot lay a block. Meanwhile, he went and did BSc. Yes, for 3 years, it's absolutely zero.
You were the chairman of a teachers' union, and I know, some of the things you do is to advocate for teachers, but also I'm sure you draw government's attention to things that would inure to the benefit of the teachers, the students you teach. Because if the teachers are teaching and they don't have the resources, they don't have what it takes to deliver, then it becomes difficult for the teacher. Is this something you talk about when you go for stakeholder engagements? Definitely, as a municipal chairman, you have forums where you meet all other chairmen, you relay your information to, and onwardly it gets to the right authorities. And when you do, what sort of response do you get?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, and good morning to the cherished list. For us as a unionist, it is really very important for us to look at the welfare of learner. Because in our constitution, the learner is the focal point. So without a learner, we don't have a job as teachers. So, and when there are no teachers, there is no union in teacher associations. So we advocate for. And then I quite remember I was part of the educational standpoint review for NAT at the NAT headquarters. We actually advocated for this technical and vocational aspect of it, because when you just look at, let's just look at Talisi, Nabdam, Bolga East, and Bolga. How many technical schools do we find? Talisi, we didn't have.
There's one technical.
We didn't have. By then,
which
we didn't have by then.
we didn't have, because it was Namalting was a vocational one and social welfare. Nabdam, no. Bolga East, though. But you come to Bolga Municipal, we had only Botek. But count the number of technical secondary schools that we have. And also count the number of so-called secondary technical schools that we have. So we advocated that if you are talking about STEM education, now these particular ones that are vocational and social welfare, there is not much done for them. So if they can be taken off and then brought back under the technical division so that they can be upgraded. So it was part of that particular discussions that these particular Namalting was absorbed from social welfare to the technical division. Then we have the Bolga Central Technical Institute, which was formerly Women's Training Institute. Then we have Gratis Foundation, which is also now absorbed. But is this enough? We look at the Nabdam aspect. We had the technical one at Sakote. What has become of that structure? It is there. We who go there to hold meetings. So we advocated for these particular institutions to be. So I passed by the formerly Women's Training Institute, Bolga Central Technical, and I was really very happy to see what was happening there. I've seen there has been some changes, and I could see that some of the students were out there trying to, they were taking them through the practical aspect, like to mold the blocks. So I stood there, and I was looking at the teacher. So what went through my mind was, how did they measure the quantum of sand that they were molding to know that, yes, I'm going to get 35 blocks? So I stood there for them to mold so that I would see. So they were molding, then I was counting. When I finished counting, it was 35 and just something small that. So I asked the teacher, how did you know that this son will be able to? That it is something that we have been doing every day in practical. I said, fine. So how will this learner also be able to keep that? So if there is any form of standard procedure, so that they can be able to also take it that, because we are using arbitrary method. So this one, it will not. So it has gone on. And again, we also had another engagement concerning those who drop out of school.
Okay.
And as a result of that, I think 2024 or so thereabout, there was this skill training that was brought in for seamstresses. And I think the first batch went to Sunyani for graduation, and they were given some sewing machines and kit like that. And I know this year too, there are some too in my community that are also continuing to do that particular project. Yes, so it was part of our innovations that we pushed onto government, that they should be able to look at this. Because it's not everybody that is able to make it to the universities or to the secondary schools or whatever. You see, so when you look at the preamble of the junior high school that was introduced nationwide, not the Achampon Junior High School, but the one that former President Rollins, the JHS, that was introduced. It was because of people not being able to make it to the secondary school, and they come back and then relying on jobs. So every junior high school was supposed to have a workshop where the learners will go through this particular training. But by the time that you finish, you will be able to be an independent person.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So, listeners, you are still live on A1 Radio, and let me come to you, Brother Jacob. We want to, I mean, this is not peculiar to the Upper East region. All that we are saying is actually a national problem. But we want to limit our discussion to the Upper East region, especially now that we intend putting together a document that is supposed to guide us as to where to go. We want to have a structured movement that in the next 2-3 years, this is what we are doing. How do we inculcate technical and vocational education into this document? And what thematic areas would you suggest to the region if you were asked to?
You see, like my brother said, politics plays in a lot. Politics. So even if we say we want to put up something for this region to be able to work with, structure-wise, machines, like I mentioned, practice, not big qualification, master's degree, this is on paper, engineers on paper.
Now, when they get flatter, they'll call you to
They'll
come.
call you to come and change. No. So we have to look at all these things. Now, look, the import, or let's say the imported, let me put it that way. Dual decks from Accra, virtual all the districts. Unfortunately, that time I was driving around virtual all the day. I went to Nabdam, I went to Talensi, I went to Fumbisi. So anytime I got there, I see an articulator with these dual decks that they painted like a brown color also.
Yeah.
Then I asked, where from these chairs? And they say, if you look at the quality of those dual decks, even an apprentice by the roadside who is 1 year can do better. The question now was, why should government give a contract to an outsider to build dual decks for schools when our technical schools are supposed to be able to build these things? Where did we get it wrong? It's a shame on us as a country that the technical schools, the vocational schools we've put in, paying tutors, giving money to run the school, pretending we are training them vocationally, cannot produce a dual decks for schools. Then we should close them down. Mention one, whether it's a school building, it's a dual decks, it is a feeding, like a program that government is pushing, and they say those who are doing catering, they should supply food. Mention it. Which school has government ever given such a contract? So why should we give a 6 classroom building to a contractor, paying them roughly maybe 1,500,000, for example, Ghana cedis, when we say we are training students how to build? So if we are sure that the training we give them, they can do it well, why can't we award a contract to the technical school? So they will use the student.
That would have saved a lot of money.
Exactly, and quality.
Yeah.
So the question is, why are we interested? Things that the schools are supposed to produce, to do themselves, we are rather taking it and giving it to outsiders. Like they always say, is it about the 10%? You bring it to us, we will still give you the 10%. Bring it to the school. So the problem is not even the structure. It's not even the machines. They can put up the structure, massive. The machines, yeah, they will not give them the work. They won't give them the job. Because the machines they'll be putting there, it's not going to be like 2-3 works that you bring. They need heavy supply. You supply them with big contracts, then they execute it. So if we are pushing that, the structure-wise, the machine-wise, the instructors, and we get that, and we're not giving them the work, it will still become useless. It will not work.
All right.
So we need to be intentional in this.
Yes. So, listeners, if you just tuned in, you are at the right place. You are listening to A1 Radio 101.1 FM. This is Daybreak Upper East. My name is Humo Kusum Taren. I'm in studio this morning discussing issues around Pell. The Upper East region's desire to have a blueprint. We want to know how technical vocation plays a part in this and what it is we have to do as a people to get the results that we want. So let me come to you, Mr. Charles.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure you would attend the program, would you?
Please.
Okay. And if you are asked to suggest something, if you are asked to add to the document, what would you say?
Yes. To me, one of the key things that we will look at, or we should be looking at, is modernizing culture and African business. We have some of these ours who are also leaving school. Practically, just as he said, we have taught them the practical, taught them theory, they're able to identify some of the diseases and so on and so forth. But when they come out, where do they go? How many agric institutions do we have? So should they come out and be? Let's see how we can look at that.
Get an agric institution.
Or
that can
just have a policy included in it so that those people shouldn't just look at only that, because that is also part of the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But
It's
it will
also
not
vocational.
it will not be bad to even have a place where, because agribusiness adding value to
Yes.
the cereals, the grains, and all those things. It's also another form of
Yes.
business.
Yeah.
And even farming. Farming is very lucrative these days. It
As
depends
for
on
that,
how you do it.
how
It's
you
just
do
that
it.
it is capital intensive.
Sure.
So if you have a place where they can go and learn new ways of farming with a less cost,
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be
It will
interested.
they'll be
Yes.
interested.
Mm.
And
So
again,
you're
we'll be
looking at
that one. Then,
building a structure,
yes. So
an institution where they
either
can
an
train.
institution or just trying to find a very good policy that will be able to govern or motivate people who are also interested.
Because it's
in
part
that
of the
particular-
things they are looking
Yes.
at enterprise,
Yes.
agriculture,
Because
livelihood.
me, I'm into agric business.
Okay.
You see, so I do agric business and then I'm around this. So I like that one a lot. And when I in school, I talk to students. I say, look, don't leave agric business.
So those
It's
in
very, very
school,
important.
the school farms, how
Yes.
are they going?
That is the agric students take care of the school farms.
And are
Are
they
they alive?
yes, that's
Yes,
the
I
question.
think because my school now is an agric school. So we wrote for support. Last year, I think we had just a few bags because we didn't get any support last year.
When you
from-
say support, what kind
From
of support?
government, we didn't get fertilizer support. Even the other farm distance we didn't get. So when we wrote, they gave us the support in December that we should take fertilizer. And then so in December, what are you going to use fertilizer in December for? And by then the farming season was over.
But you are chairman.
We had to keep it so that we can use it this time round. But I was talking about coming on one particular other very important one that if given the opportunity, they should add it to the blueprint, is this industry whereby we have the industry for the art and the creative. Those particular, when I'm talking about the art, I'm talking about the tailors, the welders, like my brother said. We have a lot of such people who are there. People who have gone through the secondary schools. My school, we do fashion, and yet they gave us 14 machines. Since 2014, we have not had even somebody to come and train the students. So if we come out with this one, to include them in, give them the uniforms that they are showing. You go to the secondary schools, find out who are those people who are showing the uniforms. The outsiders that they are giving, they will take it, the contract. I am not even seamstress. I will take it and come and give it to you. You are a seamstress. Now this is the thing. Sew it for me. Then you sew. I'll take it. Go and collect my money. Why don't
When
we
we
give
have
it?
students in the
Yes,
school
when
learning.
we give it to you, then you and your students go to Bogis, and then go to other schools that they have those particular students that are. Why is it that the police don't recruit people outside there or don't give their uniform out for people? They recruit seamstresses and dressmakers, and they are the people who are sewing their uniforms for them. You see, so if we are also sewing uniforms for our students, and we have people who are doing this, and you don't give them the contract, what have you done?
We don't trust their sewing.
So that is where a Volme's statement comes in, where politics plays that major role, trying to influence. Because probably you gave me 2 CDs when I was doing my campaign. It is time to pay you back. That is so. This blueprint should
So we
be
want
devoid
to.
of politics.
Yes, it is. That's what we
It
are
should be
told, at
devoid of
least.
politics.
So we want to change the narrative. This is what has been happening. Now we've realized that as a region, we are lacking behind when it comes to development. We want to change our ways. And I'm loving the things you are saying. The secondary, if we're able to empower these secondary schools to produce the furniture, to sew the uniforms, what we'll be doing is that majority of them will be coming out already knowing how to do these things.
Exactly.
And when they come, they are not going to be unemployed.
Exactly.
They are not going to be unemployed.
Yes.
And also what it will mean is that, so if you have a school farm and you have vegetables, what business do you have going to the market to buy vegetables?
You see, my brother's son who completed Botech, he did electricals. He does all our wirings in the community. So what is wrong when you give him that particular contract when they are in school? They are not only one person.
And you see, when the more you work, that's why when you are going to learn a trade, you are looking for a master that gets work.
Well, yes, exactly.
Because it's practical. The more you do, the more you... Yes. So, Mr. Vome, like talking about the school farms, why, for me, I think that the school farms, we don't even need external support to get them functioning. Do we?
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah.
For me,
We don't.
Yeah, our challenge is just at the same. This country is suffering because we have, you know, the level, the secondary school level determines where I'll feature. That is my challenge at that level.
Yeah.
So, you see, this country would have saved a lot of money. These contractual agreements they are doing, giving it to a contractor. How can you give a sewing contract to somebody who is not in that industry? Just because that's your wife, your sister, or your friend, then the person will not carry them, go and look for somebody somewhere to do. Meanwhile, you have the F&D department in the school. The fashion and design department is there. Do you need another person to sew those uniforms? You don't need it. And that is the best way that would have killed this situation we are complaining about, because if such contract like the headmaster takes it, the school is there, the government have brought down the money, then you pump it to that department. Look, by the time they finish showing the uniform, the kids will learn how to sew properly. And the masters there, they will be able to equip that department well with all the necessary equipment that they need to acquire. But in this situation, the government will not do that. The managers of the schools too will not do that. And everybody, we are pretenders. We are all pretending, thinking that it will change, the narration will be changed by itself. But no. For example, when we talk about school farm, I remember those days at secondary school. I went to Boga Senior High School. Look, those days, our school farm, when it is rainy season like this, they will take with the students to go and weed the place. Will be the same people to go and show. Will be the same people to, when the grass come whatsoever, the clearing and whatsoever.
Weeding.
Harvesting, who will go and do it. And luckily enough, the raiding, there were a lot of cattle and other animals there. From time to time, they will just go to the school farm, catch a cow or something like that, and come and kill it for us to eat. They were not buying. Then you could see that there were things that, and we can do it, only that.
So we are not innovative. Is
it's
that
just not about, we have just refused to do the needful. Because it's
So
what you are saying.
Okay.
I disagree with what you were saying, that they
They were
didn't have
waiting for
fertilizer.
support.
Look, we have local manual around.
The community.
The students are there. You can easily beg from the community whereby they are kettle and whatsoever. Or you can even go around and pick the cow down, swat that around.
Yes, punish the students.
At least
You see, in our schools, we have cattle
on the farms
roaming in the schools.
Locally, you can easily just create something that is
The
within.
fact that they are even bringing in fertilizer defeats the purpose
Yes.
of the food garden.
Yes.
Because we are discouraged. We have to go organic.
Organic.
So what you do is that every school, when you are coming from the house, we
First
need
something
a bucket full of manure.
manure.
And they will fill the place with manure.
You know, not every student has, but like he's saying, most of the schools are found in
They are
communities
found in
where.
communities that you can
And some of
easily
the
get it.
students, no matter what, they'll either come for prep late or they'll come. You punish them.
I'm coming.
And it's a good punishment. Go and-
No, your attempt was perfect.
Mm.
But I think that, look, you see this region, we are lucky. The region is blessed. There are almost every district that's moved
Yeah.
in this region. Almost every district. Look, we just need to put ourselves together. Like we are saying, devoid of politics, bring all human resources together. Then we even need to sensitize ourselves first. Our perception is the problem.
Okay.
Look at a region like ours. Upper West was created out of this region. Look at when they wanted to put up a regional hospital. Because of misunderstanding of location, they went and broke down the hospital, the regional hospital that could have been used as municipal hospital. For them to rather put a fresh or a virgin hospital somewhere, that will be termed a regional hospital. Look, it could have been elevated easily to a teaching hospital. And I bet you, Upper West Regional Hospital will be converted to a teaching hospital before us.
Yes.
Because our place, there is no space to be able to change it to that status.
Mm.
But they say force everything there. Whose problem? It's our own problem. Upper West, they went and had a virgin land, put up a fresh regional hospital. The old one is now one municipal hospital. That is an example. Look at airport. We are on each other's throat.
Mm.
The airport should be located here. Does the location matter?
Mm.
We just need an airport that can also facilitate our industrial movement, goods, service, human beings, whatsoever. We are on land, where the location where it should be located. And the truth
It's in Tamale, yet we go there every day.
Exactly. If you can go to Tamale to take flight to Accra and wheresoever you are going, why can't you go to either is Mbrumu, is Sirugu, or Nabrongo, or is where does that matter? You see, so we ourselves need to sensitize our minds first. Look, I've been telling people, see this region, if we are able to gather our human resources well, and we throw this politics aside, small, even let's just push it like 20% lower, small. Look, the region will develop now. Because look at what is happening. We have the opportunity of becoming a rearing hub for cattle, sheep, goats, the animals. You can talk of guinea fowls and whatsoever. Imagine even tomatoes. The region is the best region for tomatoes farming. Try for tomatoes, but we still cross Burkina here to go and look for tomatoes.
We want to, distance ourselves from all that has happened in the past and become a great
that's what I'm
region.
trying to say. That first of all, we have to at least sensitize
ourselves. We should have a change of mind.
Yeah, we should have a change of mind. That is if we don't have change of mind, you see all what we are doing, it will be back to the same issue. To me, that's how I see it from far. Because look at the situation. If we don't do that, like he was saying, look, like the drought there, they brought some to my school. They are all down. Yes. I collected photo of them. About 30-something have broken down. Every time I will have to bring
because by the time they even go them there and get to
some can no more work again.
Now.
They are completely broken. What kind of, excuse me to use this language, is it that they have done something or what? Imagine even the transportation cost of carrying one dual decks from Accra. That alone, the transportation cost of one of them can even construct another one to again. Then we'll pretend and do all this. And at the end, we are the same people blaming the system that things are not working whatsoever. The region, if we concentrate ourselves well, and we have a change of mind towards the region's development, it will be developed. Then number two, you see this thing they are doing, they have to be factual.
Okay.
And facts are facts. You can't add anything to facts. So facts are facts. Look, as they are doing it now, the other political divide or the other political parties are not interested. Because they think that a different party is doing it, they may get credit. And that is our problem. I don't know how you are getting me.
I get you.
When they are doing it, look at all those who are doing it and listen. I observed one time they were somewhere and they went to meet some chiefs and listen. I could see that practically the other divide of the political parties were missing. I asked myself, we were sitting somewhere and I told somebody that this thing, I don't think it will work. A different party, if they can, they'll also change it. And already it's...
Because Professor Avianso also started. And
already you can see that it's coming to fail. Yeah. If they involve everybody, it might be, you see, it should be adopted by all of us. We are all involved and we all want it to happen.
So what do we do? Because I think that
it's not too late. They should bring everybody on board.
That's what the regional minister has said. That
so in simplicity, the regional minister should have just been off, like people like the CEO, allow the technical people to lead it.
Irrespective of
but he's off. But
we don't see the political.
No, but I think that the regional minister is not the one heading it.
Yes,
he's not. And they have extended invitation to people like the AGI, and I don't know of the other people, but I know. So these are the people that will come in.
Who has extended invitation?
So the committee.
So the committee, that is what
I'm coming from your
observation. Look at who set up the committee. How is the committee?
Let me ask this question before.
Are you getting it?
From the invitation, what is their participation level? The invitation is one thing.
Yes.
But the people eagerness or readiness to participate in the invitation that they have extended to them matters.
Yeah.
If you observe it from that angle. You don't just observe it because they have an invitation that you can invite anybody.
You can invite anybody to come.
But you should look at their participation level, the level at which they also look at it that, it is all of us, let's do it this way.
All right.
So I think that it is not too late.
Okay.
It is just not late because they are yet almost taken off. They should try and ensure that every human resource of this region to be brought on board, irrespective of the political party.
Yes.
How about the minister? He has done his part for even bringing such a brilliant idea that let's put something together to see how we can develop the region. I believe if the others, his predecessors, were to be doing things like this, by now would have been somewhere. But at least he's a human being, and it is because of politics he's sitting there. We can't rule that one out. He may have that political lens of bringing people who are somehow associated with his party in. But he should also ensure that every human resource of this region. Look, you'll be surprised that you see this mining thing we are talking. One of the biggest consultants of the mining industries is in this region. I'm telling you, they use him. We are not using him. And they are there. This region have almost all the sectors. We have technocrats that can match any level at anywhere that you want them to go. But this region is like politics is our main problem. Politics. If not politics, how on earth will we be fighting over a location of our airport? And now we don't have. And we are still fighting. Now we are trying to bring a brilliant idea like this. If you don't have airport, how will you get the investor? Or you expect an investor to fly and come on with wings or what?
They'll get to Tamale and come.
That is,
and that's why you look at the number of hours alone. If you
Madam, I don't know, it's a long time. Have you planned the Tamale road?
Have you planned the Tamale road
here?
Oh, I have.
Do you know? Have you seen the nature of that road?
Oh, I don't want to share. I'll tell you off air my experience. I'll tell you off air my experience.
So it is very, very important that we cut off totally politics and allow the industry.
No, for the minister to be frank, he has a brilliant
idea.
Everybody Nobody.
So now let's get it right, because you are here this morning and they listen. Okay. We brought you here this morning to help us, and we are limiting this discussion to the area of vocation and technical skills. How do we inculcate it in our plan consciously, that we are making deliberate efforts, that as we are planning to structure our movement, to structure our plan, to know what steps to take from now to the next 10 years? What should we do? And I'll start with you. What should we do in the area of technical vocation? How do we add it to the document?
Yes. So, just like we stated earlier, the people who are in there, you ask yourselves, how many of these industrial players that are in there? Because no matter how brilliant ideas you meet at the forum and you present, it is not left with those people who are interested to sit there that will now compile everything together. So if you don't have a strong advocate for vocational and technical training in there to lead, and
so
to
we
ensure
want to
that-
look at how the hairdressers,
Yes.
the welders,
So we should have
masons-
their representation in the committee.
Okay.
So that when you are coming out with the policy, they will be reminded, hey, don't forget, we are here. This is what we want it to be done. Every vocation, though we know that they have their organizations that they come together and or groups, you see. So, but upon all the whole of Upper East region, they have the dressmakers and association, their executive. Are they involved in?
Okay.
So we should involve them so that they can advocate that these particular people, if you are not giving the secondary schools the contract, give it to us. So that we can also develop ourselves.
Okay.
And then
that'll be it.
yes.
All right. So let me come to you. And you, because of what you do, what do you think should be done in your area? I mean, and I want you to speak for the masons, the hairdressers,
Yes.
the carpenters, and everyone.
You see, it's like we're looking at a big picture up there. We're focusing on how the structure will look like. And that's what I said earlier on. We need to come down and look at the apprenticeship work, those who are to learn. Look, go through all, look, welders, masons, electricians, tilers, those who do POP, hairdressers, all the masters are complete. All. Let your cameras go to town. Just do that research one of these days. The masters, oh, your apprentice, how many do you have? How many of them come? How many days do they come? We have a big problem there. So why is it so? Why do we have such a problem when it comes to the apprenticeship? So you know that somebody goes to do apprenticeship for 3 years.
Yeah.
He come out and he's selling Indomie. The machines are packed. I'm not saying Indomie selling is bad. But Indomie, you don't need 3 years to, you don't need to learn 3 years how to do Indomie in 3 years. You see? So if you know you wanted to sell Indomie, why go and learn sewing for 3 years? Now their machines are packed. They're learning. They didn't learn it well, or they were not taught well. So they can't sew properly. So nobody brings his or her materials to them. There are some tailors that when you even go to themselves, they can't locate your material again. Me, for instance, like this, I hardly sew again. I don't sew. My trousers, my shirts, I just go to buy. Because most will frustrate you. The same. Look, ask the hairdressers. They will tell you. You see, welding. My shop like that, I don't have a boy. I am building about 2 trailers. One of the trailers, I built it alone. They'll come today. The next day, they won't come.
Yeah.
They are looking for money. So if we say, fine, the technical, the vocational, let's see how we will push it, support for it to run well. The problem is the interest. And how long are they learning it? You are saying you should come and learn vocational for a year or 2 years. How can you learn filtering for 1 year and know how to work on people's car? How can you learn hairdressing, proper hairdressing in 1 year? So they're just doing something to represent something. There is no vocational skill that you can learn properly less than 3 years or 5 years. There's no vocational work. You learn it 1 year, 2 years, you are just coming to be, I don't know.
Allah.
Yes. You can't do anything proper. So let's look at the interests of the youth when it comes to
I
vocational.
think we need to rebrand
Exactly.
to
look
make
at
it
this.
attractive.
Look, I was just laughing when he was mentioning these things. I said, look, can you imagine somebody who has not been to school is sewing schools uniforms for students? The person have not been to school,
including the madam.
and he's the one sewing uniforms for a technical school student. Doesn't make sense to us as a country. A welder who has never been to school, the only thing the welder learned is what? How to read a tape measure. In welding, the guys, they've not been to P1, just like me, I've not been to SS. I'm even better. They have not even been to class 1. And the only thing they learn in education is how to read the tape measure. And he's a welder, building dual decks, building things for what? Technical schools. Does it make sense to us? How?
We have to wrap up, and I wish we could continue, but let me come to you. The interest, he talks about apprenticeship, and I think that is a known secret that a lot of these artisans struggle to get at apprentice, whether hairdressing, whatever. You go around, they'll come today, tomorrow they won't come, and when they start making money, some of the masters, when they come, at the end of the day, they'll give them something, maybe 80 cedis, 100. When they take that, if they don't finish spending that one, they don't come. Until they are done spending that money, they don't come. How do we address it? Is it that we've not, the work is not attractive to them, or when they are done learning, they don't get work to do, and so the masters themselves are complaining, and that's why the apprentices don't even see the need to learn it?
Thank you. You see this issue, trace it. If you are the Sunday school, you know that the students are not ready to learn, but they think that when it is exams, the teachers should let them go. That's the normal. So it's the same thing that applies to the rest. So the moral fiber of the country, I always say it, we have many churches and mosques, but it's rather going down. Those days we have very few churches and the rest, but things were working well for them. And the youth, the major problem for us is the way youth access. Some of them learn those kind of, and the notion that I must make money quick, irrespective of the means that they will make the money. Don't care. And parents now have also failed to, though I'm one of them, we have failed to live up to it. Because if you have sent your word to go and learn something, then your word will get up in the without any reason, refuse to go for the work. And you, the parents, you are not concerned. Then
that's the slogan now.
That statement that this time tablet or something like that. It is something that anytime I'm in school and a parent will bring a child that will discipline this child for me because he don't respect me at home, I will just tell the parent to your face, you have failed as a parent. You have failed. It is you that will punish.
Yes, not the child.
And that is it, because it's like we have the young guys have certain perception that they are thinking that things should be free for them. And all this boils down to the politicians and their policies that we'll talk about. You can see that you introduce a curriculum. There is no materials for the curriculum. And you can go ahead to go and print past questions for the students to that. You are telling them that they must find a way of passing the exam. That is important. Your education goes beyond exams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Education, look, we those who are education, we know that education goes far beyond exams. Exams is only the final result, but education, it entails a lot. So as a country, we have to go back to our roots. Look, you are going to pick up, maybe a donor want to support you, and the instruction is that no students should be demoted. Now, because the students at the secondary school and all the level know that it's wholesale. Whether they pass exams or not, they'll be promoted. It has defeated the purpose of education. Because, look, you must pass a level before you can go to the next level. Same way those learning the trade are behaving. They think that, oh, now that I can even maybe wire something small, when they get up in the next day, they are looking for something to go and make money. Instead of thinking that, oh, let me rather stay and do this work well, so that if I graduate, I can be able to do better. And that is the problem we have. So we need a lot of sensitization. Before we can solve this problem, we have to look at it that way.
All right. Okay, so I would want to say thank you to all three of you for your time. We've actually shared a very valuable information, and I want to believe that the Pearl team is listening, and they would take something from this conversation. I thank you very much for making time. Iranian man, are you going back to Iran or you?
Well, I'm going to stay because my good brother here is running for chairman for Talisi.
Okay.
So I'm going to stay to ensure that
to help
the
you.
good people of Talisi vote for him as chairman for the constituency.
All right, that's fine.
Thank you, madam.
All right, thank you so much for coming. And you're still live on A1 Radio 101.1 FM, still live on Daybreak Upper East. Please, still live on Daybreak Upper East. And we just had a discussion, and we spoke with Jacob Avogo. He is the CEO of Grow Africa Ghana, and Honorable Volming David. He's the PTA Regional Secretary for the Upper East region. Also, Charles Atharibere Athem is the former municipal NAT chairman for Borga, and they've been helping me discuss what it is we can do as a region in the area of technical and vocational skills as we put together a blueprint that is supposed to direct our activities for the next 10 years. Remember, it starts on the 29th of this month to the 1st, and so do make a point to be a part of it. Now, we are going to start another interesting discussion, a discussion that concerns you and I. Yes, because you heard them talk about how difficult it is these days to get apprentices. There are several factors. And one of the factors, or some of the factors, include these young men and women indulging in the usage of drugs or substance abuse. They do that, and that actually prevents them from being able to pursue whatever careers they want to do, because sometimes the drug determines how they behave and when they behave. We want to understand what exactly substance or drug abuse is. And we have officers in studio from the Narcotics Control Commission. I'll be introducing them shortly to tell us all about the World Drug, what substance or drug abuse is and why we should abstain from such. So just stay tuned in as I come back with more on that. Good morning and welcome.
Me want to go my video, young fire dainty Nipa me one minute, Shaya da Katia Kwana Yadiramu, baby, no power. You play Uncle Crow, never no crow, never play Uncle Crow. If I take a move, I take no very, very move.
All right, so you're still live on A1 Radio 101.1 FM, still live on Daybreak Upper East. So we are going to be speaking to officers from the Narcotics Control Commission. We have in studio Shadrach Akrofikweku and also Mr. Abdullahi Ishau. So let me cross over to Studio B for us to start our discussion. Good morning, gentlemen, and thank you for coming.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, you are, what's your rank?
Yes.
ASN, and what does that mean?
It's-
Assistant Superintendent of Narcotics, and you are a sergeant.
Yes.
Okay. As for these services, they don't joke with their ranks. So very well. Thank you so much for coming.
Okay.
Thank you, because when it comes to drugs and substance abuse, it's an area that all of us need to be concerned about. First of all, I want to find out from you, what is substance or drug abuse? Who do I start with? All right.
Okay, so to start with, we want to greet the listeners of radio, A1 Radio. We are excited about the work that you are doing in the region. And we want to congratulate you and applaud you for even hosting us this morning as part of the efforts to commemorate our World Drugs Day 2026. So A1, congratulations. And then also, by way of introduction, we have to mention our Director General and the Brigadier General of Maxwell Obuba Mante. Then our Deputy Director, Mr. Alexander Chumberryman, Leonard Person.
Mm.
And then we also have to mention Mr. Stephen Yeboah, Deputy Director General. We also have to appropriately acknowledge our regional command. These are the bosses we work with. We cannot
Come here without,
exactly without properly acknowledging.
that's fine.
So we have to mention our regional
Mm.
who is Chief Superintendent of Aid
All right.
and his deputy.
Mm.
We also appreciate the team that we, this one I'm here, like he's mentioned earlier, brother. Here to do that.
Mm.
So briefly, our work, narcotics, I believe that's the question you want to find out about,
Yes.
is simply helping at creating helping at creating drug-free communities.
Mm.
Why is it that important? You know, drugs, as we have maybe noticed, is item that we realize that it greatly affects the performance
Mm.
of young people's
Mm.
drugs are not just like we know from maybe a hospital or a pharmacy, things that we take to make us feel healthy. They are positive drugs. And then there are drugs that compromise our functions, our mental function, performance. That is the drugs that we focus on. Narcotics. Drugs that have the potential or the affect the way we think.
Think. Okay.
That's the real thing I want to push out there. So we are not just against drugs.
Okay.
We are trying to control the use of drugs that have the potential to affect the way people think. Why is that important? Especially for young people. If young people, their reasoning faculty is interfered with, then they become a weapon in the hands of anybody. You know, I'll just say this briefly to let my point land properly.
Mm.
Many of the wars fought in the first in instances, or the thing that initiates those wars and sustains the wars. So if you watch carefully, let's go to Congo, Rwanda. Most of the wars are sustained on drugs, because you cannot tell a normal person go and kill his brother or his sister or to go and burn a house or butcher people
Mm.
with normal motives. You can't.
Mm.
You have to temper with the way the person reasons about things so that the good thing becomes bad and the bad thing becomes good.
That's good. Mm.
So this is the foundation work now. We are trying to protect the minds of young people
Okay.
so that drugs does not alter the way they see reality.
Mm.
And from there, we can now bring in education. You cannot educate a person whose mind is condemned.
Mm.
You cannot empower him. You can't give him a job to
Okay.
do. He can't function on anything because the mind is altered.
Mm.
So our number one concentration, the protection of the mind of the young people. And drugs is the number one enemy
Okay.
that we are fighting.
Okay.
So basically, this is what we have been mandated by the law, according to the Act 1019, to enforce in all communities in Ghana.
So let me come to you, Ishao. What type of drugs are we talking about?
Thank you for this question. As my boss rightly said, we are into that's why the name narcotics, where the name narcotics comes from, illicit drugs, drugs that are forbidden or the law does not permit use. So these drugs are our traditional. We have what we call cannabis, that is weed, popularly known as weed. Also have cocaine. And we have tramadol. Tramadol is not is kind of when we are talking about tramadol, we are always
A bit careful.
being careful about it because it's not entirely an illicit drug, but the usage makes it an illicit drug. Okay, tramadol, we have tramadol 50 milligram and then 100 milligram, which are being prescribed by medical practitioners. So when you are sick, and it is used to cure severe pains.
Okay.
So when you are sick and you've gone to the hospital, usually doctors prescribe this drug for you, not more than 100 milligrams, depending on how severe
your pain
is. But we have people outside who takes tramadol more than the 100 milligram dosage. 100, 150, 200, 250, even 500. These are dangerous milligrams that our youth now resort to taking. So these are the drugs that we are against.
Okay.
So we are appealing to the public that they should resist from this intake of tramadol. And then, because that is the prevailing drug in our society now, tramadol and weed, they are the prevailing ones that the youth are more into. So our focus is on those drugs. Because you can't just say, oh, you are sick and you go to the hospital and a doctor will prescribe a tramadol of 200 milligrams for you. It's not possible.
Okay.
So that's why even our that's why we are into the sensitization too. We are planning to even visit some of the schools. Then we'll talk to them about it. Then drugstore.
And I would suggest you start from the basic schools.
Oh, yeah.
We are already
because it's amazing. Sometimes you hear the stories.
We are there.
Yes.
We are there, and that is like I said. You see, the mind of a young person is extremely fertile, and it can receive almost anything.
Okay.
It is very difficult to convince an old person to do certain things, but a child wants to try.
Okay.
Because of exuberance.
Yeah.
So the children, they don't see it as like a big thing, like the way we are seeing drugs, like it's a very dangerous big thing. They see it as just trying something. So a friend can come and say, oh, I ate this toffee. Oh, just try. It's very nice. So he also sees it very innocent and tries it. And because of the addictive properties of the drug, like I said, it starts to change his mental processes. So that rather than seeing the thing as bitter or not nice, it now becomes sweet. And can you imagine a child who believes things like this? So the primary levels, junior high school, SHS, infiltrated with the concept of the drugs. I think we have some few videos of young people who are warning other young people that don't start it. The whole
Okay.
problem is with the start.
Yeah.
Because once you start it and it
It's
alters
difficult
your
to
perception
stop.
and your taste, your preference is
Mm.
very difficult to stop.
Mm.
Meanwhile, it's also expensive. You don't also have money. There's no job. So now you know.
If a young person is listening or a parent is listening and wants to come to you for advice or wants to call on you to an institution to come and educate them, what should they do? Who should they reach out to?
Okay, so we have a few numbers. We'll give you our personal numbers, but we also have some official numbers that we'll share.
Mm.
So let me share. Please, should I go ahead?
Yes,
Or
please
should we
do.
leave it with you then?
No, share.
We should share it.
Mm.
So 0292 605 187 and 0256 11 3929 0292 605 187 and 0256 11 3929.
Mm.
Let me respectfully add one number 0540
Mm.
336 116 0540 336 116.
All right.
They can call on us on these numbers that we've given out.
All
I
right.
want to just say one last thing. I know our time is up. Our friends
Yeah.
are standing here.
Mm.
The last thing I want to say is that this week is dedicated entirely to the celebration of World Drugs
Mm.
Day.
Mm.
The day actually
Mm.
is on the 26th
Okay.
of June, which is on coming Friday.
Okay.
But we are using the whole week. We are doing sensitization. Tomorrow, for example, we are holding a seminar for counselors throughout the region
All right.
to engage with the young people at the school level.
Okay.
So
Thank
please
you.
call on us, join us,
Yes.
and let's engage and do more work together.
I wish we could go on and on, but we have to end it here. Thank you
Drug-free
so much.
societies everywhere.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you so much, Shadrach Akrofi Kwaku and Abdullah Isha. We are grateful you made time to come and help us understand better the issues of drugs and why we shouldn't start in the first place. We'll definitely bring you back. All right. So we have other guests we'll be talking to from the Widows and Orphans movement shortly. This is still A1 Radio 101.1 FM. Stay tuned in.
Oshira nipa wakati sudada ebi ya titofo ebi ya katipo nipa binsu ya titire mapa mi watiko nipa titiriwo yemfa kebi yentie meta nipa mi wa minemu sheya dakati yanko na yedikomu eradi nyanko pombo yatio oshira nipa wakati sudada ebi ya titofo ebi ya katipo nipa binsu achidi yepa me want to go my video yampa a dainty and theater nipa me one minimum shaya dakati yanko na yediramu if it's no power you say I'm got power you no power never say I'm got power if I not teach mu I teach no very very more yabano kwa yes watching for everything you see Oshira nipa wakati sudata ebi ya titofo ebi ya katipo nipa binsu ya titire mapa mi watiko nipa titiriwo yampa kebi yentie meta nipa mi wa minemu sheya dakati yanko na yedikomu eradi nyanko pombo yatio Oshira nipa wakati sudata ebi ya titofo ebi ya katipo nipa binsu achiti yepa mi watiko my video yampa a dainty and theater nipa mi wa minemu sheya dakati yanko na yedikomu pepinta wufano kwao meso me pano kwao enina ya pano kwao yampa shamera na me fata panimu mishishemwa na mirute nipa bringa ni uberempa uwaba kumprotu mini de chinko oni padia wanye mi ubremwana entano neshasu nichawana eni brekwa bani suna winya yedia ubechi aflaka chia bani oni padia wanye mi ubremwana usei wobi na winya ye obi adia.
All right, so you're still live on A1 Radio, 101.1 FM. And this morning we have the Widows and Orphans Movement. They are here to help us understand and to appreciate what our widows go through and what they are doing as an organization to help. When you mention widows and orphans, I think almost everyone in this region knows about them. Yes, we do, because they are everywhere doing good works. So today we are looking at the International Widows Day. We have in studio Elizabeth Anafo. She's the head of programs Widows and Orphans Movement. Patricia Ayuchirom. Are you from Sandemo? Okay. Patricia Ayuchirom. She's the Nabdan District Director for Shraj. We also have Bampoka Asina, a widow from Dasablego community, and Talata Ndabire, a widow from Dasablego community. Madma Yeblika Blika Liazare. No, yeah, I want it. You do so cool. Okay. Te answer. Thomas the answer. All right. Widows and Orphans Movement.
Yeah.
How are you doing? Let me first of all commend you for that tremendous support that you gave to the two girls from Boku. You did very well.
Yeah, you did well too. You helped with the publications and all. It started with you, so yeah.
we are grateful to have an organization like yours in the region. Madam, good morning.
Good morning.
How is your office doing, Shraj?
Fine.
Are you sure?
Yes. We're also doing our best
Okay.
to support women, to support widows, especially.
All right. So let me start with you, Madam Elizabeth. Tell us about the Widows and Orphans Movement and how the commemoration of the International Widows Day came to be.
Okay. Good morning to our listeners. Widows and Orphans Movement is a women's rights organization that have been working with others to protect and promote the dignity of widows in the region, the country at large. And we've been in operation since 1999. We are old. Yeah. And then for the celebration of International Widows Day, was first recognized in 2010 by United Nations to recognize the challenges that widows go through and also to celebrate their achievements. And then this is very important to us as an organization because as an organization that works with widows to see their well-being and to see that their dignity is protected, their rights are being protected, and they are free from abuses and violence. It means a very lot to us because we are able to use that opportunity to showcase the challenges that these widows go through, and then to also solicit for support for them, and also to work with state agencies and government to see how policies can be implemented to ensure that our widows are able to get support. Also, their rights are being protected.
Very well. So the this year's International Widows Day The theme is justice, dignity, and economic empowerment for widows. What does this mean, and why is it relevant to widows in our community?
Yes, so for this year's theme, just as said, justice, dignity, and economic power, it's a call for all of us, society, government, traditional leaders, institutions, to come together to ensure that widows are treated fairly, ensure that their rights are respected, ensure that they are given equal opportunity to progress and thrive well in the country. And then when we talk about justice, we are looking at ensuring that they are aware when they are being abused, they are aware where to go to seek for support, they are aware to report to when they have any grievances. And in terms of dignity, we are looking at they are being valued in the community. They are looking at they are being respected as women, as people in the community. They are given equal treatment, just as any other person that are in the community being treated. They are not stigmatized, and they are not abused, they are not isolated. So this is what we are also talking about. And in terms of economic empowerment, we are also looking at the ability to get life skill trainings, to get livelihood support, something doing that will generate them income to be able to take care of themselves as well as their children and the family. And this year's theme is very important because it calls on all of us to understand, to appreciate challenges that these widows go through, and to ensure that collectively we are helping them to be able to access productive resources. Because as we all know, widows, when they are faced with or when they lose their husbands, greater of the resources they sometimes have access to, they lose it in the process. We are using this opportunity to face this and to ensure that people understand the need to protect them, the need to support them and give them opportunities. Then they have also to be free from violences and abuses. Community.
Yeah, I would like
To
to
add,
add, yes, to the team. Not that efforts aren't being made. Of course, all of us at our various workplaces, especially we those that are working around issues around human rights and violence, as we are doing our own part. We are saying that it is time for everyone to rise up and increase their efforts.
Okay.
We are saying that it is time to stop the discrimination of widows. It's time to stop the abuse and the harmful traditional practice. And we are saying that we need to respect widows more. We need to stop the stigmatization. We need to stop blaming them for the death of their husbands. And we need to increase their ability to access productive resources, especially lands, such that because when somebody has land, there is a lot you can do, especially in our rural places. A woman that has land can farm to feed her children. She can rear livestock to sell, to take care of the children's health and education needs. She can even establish a business on a piece. So it is time for us to all rise up and give women, widows, this opportunity.
You have been working with these women, access to land and other, economic resources, as she's mentioned, is one of the key challenges, and it's not peculiar to your operations. It's something that really pertains in our area. What are you doing by way of support to these women to get land? Do you talk to the community members to see the need, even in the area of inheritance, when they are sharing family lands? Women are not considered. In your area of advocacy, is it an issue of concern, and what approaches have you adopted?
Thank you very much. Yes, it's a very, very big concern. especially in the Afra land. Most areas in the region sometimes the rice varies, and sometimes it differs tribe by tribe or ethnic group by ethnic. But then access to land, just as you earlier on, is very a big problem for us because, as we all know, the northern part of Ghana, women don't own land. And when it comes to access, it also becomes a problem. Because you don't own it, so even accessing it becomes a problem. For us, we rely on the laws of rely on the Constitution, rely on the Land Act to carry out. And one of it that the Land Act made provisions when land is being shared, the man owns land being divided or shared among the children. Females or the girls supposed to also take share. So if your father owns a land or my father owns land, and the land is being going to be shared among the children, as a girl or a lady or a woman, I'm supposed to take a share of it, but equally among all the children, not just for males alone, as it is in the tradition or the customs. So it's one of the area of advocacy that we do to ensure that as we are doing our education, we are doing our sensitizations, people are aware that don't discriminate among your children, don't discriminate. Only the land is supposed to be for the males because they are not going to marry outside the family, and because the female is going to move out, the person cannot own the land. Another area that we are also tackling is also having negotiations with the landowners and owners and then the community leaders to ensure that lands are not being taken away from women when they lose their husbands. Because sometimes some of these lands sometimes are inheritable, right? They are family lands. So when the head of family passes on, the person, the next in line, takes over that land. So another area we are looking at for. Without this land, this new head of family, you were farming. So this wouldn't take much from you if you leave this portion of the land for the widow that you can use the land, take care of the kids so that we don't have to keep on taking it out and then maybe leave you and your children to fend for yourself and go out to beg, where other men will take advantage of that situation to exploit you sexually. We are also looking at and the Land Act also made provisions that communities can allocate lands as land trusts. They designate a space that vulnerable people in the community, widows, youth, children, migrants, persons with disability, all people that when they are sharing land, their names are not mentioned and have access to such a land. So we are also doing advocacies around this, that if communities can come together, leaders can come together to allocate spaces in their communities, land spaces, so that when any widow, any woman, any persons that do not own land and want to have access to it, to farm, feed the family, they can allocate a portion of that land for them to use. So these are the approaches we are using to ensure that our widows are not left out in terms of accessing the land. Because sometimes, because of their inability to have access to land in terms of the family lands, when they go out to seek permissions from other people to, especially those who have lands, to give them these pieces, some of them ask them to exchange their bodies for the land. So you have to remarry me, you have to choose me, I have to have sex with you before I give you. If you don't have, some will tell you openly that the way you are greedy with your time, I'm also greedy
Greedy
with my land. And such a comment or
That's
some of these things
actually,
coming out is very disheartening.
yeah.
And then it leaves most of our women, leaves most of our widows vulnerable, and it pushes them even more to more vulnerability
Yeah.
than they can be.
So let me come to you, Madam Patricia, and she raises a very vital point about exploitation and harassment. I'm sure, I mean, a lot of these women are confronted with the cases of harassment, coercion, exploitation, and the rest when they try to ask for sometimes land that is supposed to belong to them or land that they are begging to use. What sort of training or knowledge are these women given such that they know that it is their right to say no when people ask for sex before they give them land?
So, with widows and orphans, call it, we do go around communities. And I think just recently, towards the end of last year, we did a lot of these community sessions. And we went around to make women understand what sexual exploitation means. We made them to understand what sexual coercion means. We made them to understand what harassment means, such that when they are faced with these issues, they can easily call on us to get the necessary support. And a lot of this happens with widows when they are trying to seek help. Okay? Because like we all know, a woman's backbone was her husband. He provided everything. He provided the protection. He provided the resources, food, almost everything, especially in our rural communities. Most of these women are overly dependent on the man. And so when she is no longer there, he's no longer there, she's very vulnerable at the time. She's struggling to feed her children. She's struggling to probably take care of their medical bills. She's struggling to take them to school and all of that. So in the quest to seek support from probably the husband's relatives, from other men outside, that's where the exploitation starts. She's asking for land to farm because, like Lizzie said, some of the lands are usually family lands. And so if they take it from her and she's not able to get it from within the house, she has to go outside there to probably beg for somebody who has more land and is not using everything. And the most that will come from them is, you need to give in so that I can equally give you. It's more like a give and take thing. So yes, we are doing our best to ensure that these women understand issues around exploitation, sexual exploitation in terms of wanting to get access to productive resources. And we make them know that our offices are always available to support them and to seek justice. We offer free services, and as much as possible, we will try to see to the end of a case that is reported. But unfortunately, issues around sexual violence is more like an open secret. It is happening. Everybody knows that it is happening, but nobody is willing to open up about it. Yes, so that is the difficulty that we face. You will go to the community level. A woman will openly tell you that this is what happened to me. But tell her that, okay, come and let us take it on as a case. You won't see her. Because she's afraid of the consequences that she will face once she gets back to the house. Because everybody is going to see her as a disgrace. Why did you even go to embarrass our community like that? Why would you make them see that men in our community are doing this? That is happening. And nobody is doing anything about it. But the moment she takes a step to act on it, then it is her against the community. And these are the issues
that you are confronted with.
Yeah.
So let me come to you, Lizzie. Like she said, an open secret. We all know it happens. Is it the case that the community members are not even aware of it being a violation of somebody's rights, or is a case that people do not even know that they have the right in the first place, or is a case that as people in the area of advocacy, we have to do more?
I can say it's a blend, right? It's a blend. We can't say they are not aware, but even some of the things morally is wrong. I want to leave legal aspect out of it. Morally, it is wrong. Traditionally, it is wrong. They know. Because even those days or in the tradition, they are not supposed to abuse widows. They are aware. They are not supposed to maltreat them. That there are even they believe when you do, the deceased husband will harm you. They know this in the tradition. But then what I feel is the problem here is that some of them even it benefits the men. Let me put it, sorry to put it that way. It benefits the men, and most of the times they are the perpetrators as well. So, and men stand for each other. Right. So when one person does something, all of them will see that it is the fault of the woman. Whatever, you are to be blamed, not the man. And then they see it as the woman, you are an outsider, in as much as they've married you to the family, you've been with the family sometimes even over 20 years, you've given birth to children, they still consider you as an outsider, somebody not from the family. So because of that, anything that happens, they will usually stand behind the men or the relatives that are disturbing the widow. Also, some of them are also not aware. Some of them are also not aware. They are being blinded by what the tradition or what used to happen. So because of that, they are not open to the development, new things, new learnings that are coming, especially the old generations. That I remember one of the sensitization, an old man, probably after maybe 70 years plus, said that after all the discussions, all that he had to say was that, so are we saying that they shouldn't remarry the widows? After we talked about the exploitation, I said, are we saying they shouldn't remarry the widows? And they started blaming the widows that when your husband was not there, I was not buying beer for you, I was not giving you money. Now your husband is there and I'm doing all this for you and you think it is free. So for me, the older generation, there's a very big problem because they still live with that old knowledge. The younger generation is blended. They are using the old knowledge and to cover up.
They know what is right.
They know what is right, but they are using what used to happen to cover the current.
Yeah.
So because of that, they pretend pretend to be ignorant about what is happening. But then most of the times we say that just in your mind, be cautious that you yourself, you married a woman. And sometimes I don't understand if they do this analysis in their head. You married your wife, you are with your wife. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
You don't plan for it. Unfortunately, it happens to you. Do you plan or think about what will happen to your wife? You are giving birth to girls. Do you analyze to understand if somebody is doing this to my daughter, whether I'm alive or not alive, how you will feel? It's all reflection for us, and especially the men, because the power lies in them. There's a lot of power imbalances. So because the power is in their hands, sometimes most of these things is for them to sit to analyze, relate it personally. Not because the person is your male colleague alone, not because the person is your brother, blood relation, but then think about it. If this happens to somebody, if that same thing is to be done to me, will I feel okay with it? Wherever I will be, will my spirit rest? That's yes.
Such a thing is happening.
Such a thing is happening to my children, to my wife. So it's a blend, just as I said. We can't say they are not aware. They are aware. They are aware. And then the older generation is not even the problem now. It's the younger generation that is the problem. Because
that is pretending
not to know that it is happening.
Very well. So let me come to you, Patricia. You mentioned that a lot of advocacy is going on and all of that. But we know that these challenges, for instance, if a woman is sexually harassed or abused, and she decides to come and report to you, probably the abuser or the harasser is in the same house with her. After reporting, you don't have a place for her to sleep. She's going back to the same house. And usually those are some of the challenges. How is your department, that of Widows and Orphans Movement, government, other relevant stakeholders, how are we working together as collaborators to make sure that we address this case? Because, I mean, this is clear. She is harassed. She wants a land. She doesn't want it. She decides to come and report to you. It's her husband's brother that has done that to her. You decide to go and report. That man is arrested. He has elderly children in the house. This woman is supposed to go back to the same house. How does that interfere with the work you do?
Unfortunately, these are some of the weaknesses that we have as institutions for our department, for DOFSU, for Department of Social Welfare, for Department of this is one of the weaknesses that we have. It was supposed to be set up by the Domestic Violence Act. Unfortunately, the Domestic Violence Fund is not being resourced. So some of these not happening. But it's true. There is no way you can get healing in an environment that you've been abused. It can't happen that way. And as much as possible, when they come, we would advise that they probably go to their own, their
where they maternal,
where they come from. It's safer there, especially if it is maybe probably some harassment. Sometimes you can find a way, but if it is direct rape or any kind of other forms of abuse that you don't need to find her in that environment, we would advise to take her to she should go back to her house where it is safer there. I think one time Widows and Orphans Movement had to get accommodation and hotel for some abused survivors. Yes, just so that they can be away from that environment. And so this is an opportunity for us to call on government and all well-meaning people to support such that we can get a shelter. Upper West Region has taken the lead, and they currently have a place that they keep survivors there until they are able to find a permanent solution. So in the Upper East Region here, it is time for us to also rise and see at least just 1 or 2 rooms somewhere far away that the abuser cannot have access to the survivor until we are able to sort issues.
I would want you to add to that, because I saw you nodding right from the beginning, and it is a real challenge that we all know.
Yes.
But like she has said, maybe if we all put our voices together, we'll get support.
So just as she said, shelter is one of the biggest challenge when it comes to our advocacy work, sexual and gender-based violence, right? Because sometimes you do the education, people come out with the issues, they report, then you are hanged on. Where do you go to? And then you can't keep on coming every day to beg people openly to support. How many can you do that? So every day you are begging people. Every day you have to keep on begging people that we need to accommodate this. You need to accommodate somebody. So just as she said, there are instances where we sometimes, whatever, we have to find money to reallocate people for a very, maybe a short time for them to heal. And then whilst we are doing that, we're also looking for other means to for the person to stay. There are widows that we've moved them from their communities and even rented rooms for them. And even sometimes we do yearly renewal for them. But then how many can we do as an organization, and how many communities, how many people can we reach? So it's actually a call on government and other well-wishers to support. They can reach out to social welfare, they can reach out to SRAJ, they can reach out to any of the institutions that work around these issues with any kind of support, right? So that as a region, if we have shelter for ourselves, it's going to be a big name. Having one big name that we are proud about is our support fund, which is able to source money small when some of these cases come and then survivors are not able to get medical care. But then after the medical care, what happens? We need space at least for them to clear their head and can go back or look for have a direction how they move on with life. So it's a call on all of us, wherever you're listening us from, that we need support, we need a shelter for the region, so that even other NGOs, if you have funding and you want to build, it's going to be a very big plus for all of us.
All right. So, listeners, we are still here in studio having a discussion with the orphans, widows and orphans movement, and we are talking about the International Widows Day. You know, every year, the Widows and Orphans movement has taken it upon itself to commemorate this day. And today we're just having a discussion around it. So, what are the legal rights and protection mechanisms available to widows whose rights have been violated? And we already mentioned some of the challenges, but if there are some you want to add.
Talking of legal rights, our constitution, first of all, it's against any form of. So the fact that she is a widow and being treated different and being refused a portion of land just to farm on or do something, an economic activity to feed on and to take care of, is a form of this. And our constitution is highly against that. The Land Act equally is against taking property or refusing women share of property. Even the constitution, when you go into you have a right to spousal property inheritance, right? When your spouse passes on, then the constitution gives you, a widow or a widower, the right to inherit property from your spouse. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that way in our part of the world, especially in our and that's, I can attribute that to some of our traditional practices, okay? Because family land, after that, the assumption is that the next in line, the successor, is supposed to take the family and probably reshare it if he chooses to. Otherwise, he takes his thing and then he farms on. So yeah, our tradition highly contributes to the issue of women having problems when it comes to, and even the fact that those who already have the lands have refused to even tell their wife that this is a portion of my land. Some have equally have the opportunity to register them, but they don't register them. Because at the end of the day, even if she's fighting for, what is she knocking her chest with that I'm fighting for? This is my husband's property. A lot of them don't let their wives know. A lot of us do not register our properties. You have a house, you have a land. When you are no more, your wife can't fight over it. But yes, our laws guarantees widows the right to these properties. So yeah, these are the legal rights there. And they equally have a right to be protected from any form of violence, especially sexual violence. But here is the case: a lot of our widows now face a lot of sexual violence when they are trying to seek get access to land or other productive resources, especially in our Nabdam area. We have quite some a number of young widows because of our mining activities. Most of people there marry. Our people, we marry very early. Yeah, so you find a girl probably 17, 18 years, she's already married, even less than that. They are married. And within no time, the husband passes on. He was a minor. So she really didn't care about, land.
Okay.
She was okay. But he passes on, and then now she needs land to at least farm to take care of that one or two children that the husband has left. But somebody is saying that you need to choose me. Forgetting that it also comes with a lot of consequences. Because choosing you means that she has to move to your house. Choosing you means that she has to leave those two children that she's even trying to struggle to take care of. Yeah, so the struggle is real. But then there are protection mechanisms that are available to help you get those rights that you are entitled to. For instance, my office is there, Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. As much as possible, we will try to help you get justice. If you are being denied what is due you, your land is being taken away from you, if it actually belongs to your husband, we will help you get that. If you go to DOVSU, the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, they are equally there. You go to the Department of Social Welfare, they can also help. Legal aid, they provide free or affordable legal services. Yes, so if it gets to the point that it has to go to court, you can always go to legal aid for support. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, they are also there to provide economic empowerment, to provide counseling for widows who are facing these kind of challenges. And our services are usually free. Especially in my office at DOVSU, social welfare, our services are free. You don't need to pay for anything. Just come and report. Then we will do our own investigations, and how best we can find a solution to your problem, we will do.
All right. So what role can traditional leaders, family members, community members, CSOs like yourself and the rest, what role can be played in addressing these challenges that are faced by people?
Okay. I think one of the key roles that our traditional leaders play in addressing this come to understand the challenges, come to understand the situation of your household. It's high time you come together, look at how you protect these widows in your community. We are talking about access to land. And then if you were not aware that widows in your community go through exploitation, sexual exploitation when they try to access land, you are aware now. So come together and look at how do we protect and support these widows in the communities. You can pass bylaws. You can come together to agree that, okay, so if there's a widow in the community, or you all households, if there's a widow in your household, get a piece of land for them, or leave the lands that their husband were using before for them to farm and take care. And it will be something that will address this problem. You can also leverage on the Land Act that talks about the land trust. Come together with your other community leaders, designate a place that when those come to seek for land, you easily allocate that space. You don't have to go to individual, or they don't have to go to seek for this land from individuals where they will be sexually exploited or being abused. You can also, I talked about passing bylaws. Head of families can also, your own space, look at how you can maybe leave these lands for the widows. If it's a land that is supposed to be passed on to a successor, if it's a big space, allocate it within the family. If you allocate for the widow and the widow thinks that her capacity is more than the space you have offered, then she is able to also solicit from outside, right? Because you were farming as a successor, you were already having your farmlands before the family one. So giving that one out for the person to use doesn't spoil anything. So these are some of the things that when we as community leaders, we come together to put our heads together and then agree that we want to support our widows, we can do to support them.
Just to add on to what Lizzie said, I think it is time that we need to now start openly talking about issues around sexual exploitation when it comes to accessing land and other economic resources. We need to point and shame. Maybe I think it will help, because if a man probably has been harassing me for a long time, a man is trying to exchange sex for, even a family land, we need to openly talk about the person in the community. Probably it will bring some shame and deter others from, if we are saying that we don't want to do it, go through the legal process, let's start it at our community level. let's name and shame people who do these things. People who try to take lands from widows just because of their own selfish desires. It's high time we stop.
So we are pressed for time. In fact, we should be ending now, but our mothers cannot come and sit and go without saying nothing. Masina. On the masina la. Au bampoka. Okay. La one. La anson. That's all. Mbotim bange. Sama manyia anwane. Korum po. Pohe haneta. Baseba hane kata bona. Gigi bate. Mititi marmala pon mura madak zinyaruma. Tabota miye be hawa kobora betu fi. La haneta engeta nya azisala fi tarik ing dukubu koma. Sama manyia la lane anawane bo raba.
Oya. Sama manyala ni kore tu botu. Te siran da bote ata ze koro tu ditele. Nkata bona. Ze nyan tere akima yile pole ngane watu saman. Ge baho. Ngla kwa mala ya haka ya ze suha. Ya kore na muti. Mama po yile mal ma hapun tu gete bete ba engbo. Tete ba la de pere kre tu loba. Banka loba. Bakambo saman pokata gilma yile pole. Dolande a perkre to han zahab bam kam bo gil anya samala ko dolan ko re tubut
Ge koma la dakla ba ma koma. Ibu
Koma
ko
de-
tu ko ti ba ma no la di ba koma
koma
di.
le ba koma ge koma la nan kaseke ba ko he bani et ba ko ge eta bo re ge ba ite bo la po kata le bi so ro hu mi ai en ho bon fi he ba ma han bo tre sak ba lugo ba ko ba tre sare ba kan lugo
Batan king matalata zema. La sonko.
Oh, lansi.
Kuma
wana.
dia.
Ya tuma zin
Yina
sama.
ampanga.
Yeah.
Ya. Ko sira la botara saman la kora la. Daga nga saman bala. Te inga de daga nga la koma samane. Te ho sira la kata bona. Te kimale te inga so saman la. Yeldi na bome eta. Te remina te la bome eta. Umpo te report. Te nara te engla wane. Yang guyelwa. Te ho sira han kata bona. Te saman la nat la kende na ho dene. Hun lo koma. Te yatara kora dita.
Mpo huzu. Lande ya mampu tere. La nare ava iksa zu de yelkanga. Hola osiram bozin atunala. Honka bona. Tukel mbana blen ita bora kwa matu edita. Usira hanka bona giba hola kwa le mel ko bo. Okanye kwa ko. Uma kwa mana batazo yeli yelo punta hambana bi. Oh, aya la bari kwa ele to ni dipa gige hoba.
Ge saman la de ba ma kwa malkandi.
Bakandi. Ba ham mo yeti ba eng ba ele ti de kila anta ba kora geti lo ha boro ba min lo ha boro la ba kan lo hararo boro mama bot da sedare to ba bo da sera bala mama to ba da in sal bo la kabo to wa eng bo kwa mala mo kan yan yel beti lu bo ma wa yel ba yel ti o de pak gitara mo dan me mara lo kila bo la ngonti mo yel ti hundin ba me ba na din ka ba geto hundin ba ba min mi ba eng si mbo ba ma e ba ma zo din la zo geto bon la ana fi wa yetu yet la de to ombo daru to ho menga mi huwa en se bo ko ma to dita guratan se ma to wole inta en kila bo ya
Te yama mbe sonko atlare le me yile to mabata te ya lirki sonko bo ma getere te koto sonka la ete te za awabi mimi yama behela te wa englan wane beni te gomna nara enga bi NGO ma wo widoson offer bi te za awabi lan torat la kena zawa te wa englan wane nyang sunye yildin la po Paula homma
yel saka tuman be ate ya en class de ya hande ko wara bini to hola sirala o sirala ko bon yere ke en wara bini to sirala kata bona ko nar ko ndo ala kala ko ite dite de salbe te yare ke en class sonte de ya hamba hatta tin ner bala kan keme lakil wara le awson
ozo ma poti dedin
tirin de se de o sune de yel yelo to kwa mala ba square kware to bo ro hande ma ko tin ma sune ko me tan wanyang la So menga inji ozuma ha wanyang la anti nito. The biha to ita sala fifi pa kuala pua. Yang biha kwa mala to square to ina. Tizo kwa mala square bahame. At te serban kabole su. Ukata mergzia wayang bi kwa mala ti paton nanga. To biala yang talib na ka ho. Ye do hata wala kinta ton san manya la ho. Ita ande ba ma dik school ba. Amen dik school ba la ni de adang bo hun dor la tu biala kin suta pasnya. Ge kon se wa bi ngere ka ba. To la ande man to ka ma su ni to gomet. La va ni iksazu. La anti no. Ti saba sirwanki. Ki ba ti la to koma. Ti namman. La engi udo.
So what yell widows and orphans yet be labaton sell bora yawa.
Oh, ti po ba zo. Mama wa na kurala. La siri fin. Ke mama da ka bula. Hun ta ti sita seba sita ban ki ba ti za ka ta yu papa ko. Ama bun pa ko la yeli. Ama ba ma wa anala la bahati. Ba kale nyeta yo ba turo ti hude pa ko ho hampon ye nyanara na atlaria. Tamya pa ko be yel abuni pa ko ra atala dango. Apa ala menga. Yel ba hamba ta to yetu kan saka. La ko ari atu. Gibama wa anala la bahati sungu. Wana la to. Baya bara ba itasisela.
Bakale itaya bala.
So ti po ba zo. La ba bahati ma la ambona. Kan la puwa. Mi la tara tibin finila. Gi first let mara ka bona kan.
So let me come back to you for us to wrap up. So in wrapping up, what would be your final message?
Final messages. Okay. So as we are celebrating International Widows Day, just as when we started, the call for all of us to support all widows around us, in your household, in your community, in the region, and in the country. Any way you can, be financially, psychologically, any kind of support you have, show them kindness. Then they will appreciate it. To go a long way to change lives. Then just to also add, and then also let our widows and all women out there to understand that it's high time all of us rise on our feet, get something doing. Don't rely on only the man. Anything can happen. When two hands are working, families progress. When one hand is working and something happens to that hand that is working, then life becomes miserable. So let's all of us rise, find something doing, something that can generate income for you, so that in case anything happens, you can still stand on your feet. You can still provide for the family and take care of the kids, even in the absence of your husband. And to the men out there, prepare yourself. We don't own life. We don't know when we'll go. As we are all roaming, it can be today. Mine can be today, tomorrow. We don't know. Don't wait till when you are not there, and then your family will be out on the street begging, crying for help, when you had a chance to prepare them for this. If you have land, you have property, you are working, you have SNIT contributions. Some of them sometimes don't even open up to tell their wives which account they are saving.
Okay.
Please do so.
Okay.
So that when you are not there, at least they will have access to some of these things to continue life. So they don't become miserable. Your children will not live on the streets or start begging or live lives that would have been prevented.
All right.
And then to our leaders and to government, any other person that is listening to us, let's all rise on our feet to support these widows, to support their children, so that it will be all of them can thrive and we'll have a better country for all of us.
All right. Thank you so much for coming.
I thought I was 50. Don't worry.
Okay, so calls at this time, I'm not sure we can do that. Okay, so let's see if we can get a call or two. 03820915080, 03820 as we are waiting for the call, I'll give you 1 minute. If the
All
call
right.
doesn't come.
So my final message.
Yes.
That the death of a husband should not be the beginning of suffering for a widow and her children.
Okay.
Helping a widow to get justice when she is violated, it's not a favor that is being done.
Okay.
To me, it's an issue of human rights. Per our constitution, our fundamental human rights are supposed to be respected, irrespective of who you are. So let's take note. Help women get access to justice when they are being violated, when their lands are taken away, and when they are sexually exploited. Let's support them in getting. Let's give them all the dignity that they require.
Right. You called the link. Yes, I didn't. Please forgive me. All right. So on this note, we want to say thank you to you for coming. Madam Pohezo, yina kamale gila bona laya. Ina songa. Ami. All right. So this has been a discussion around the International Widows Day. But of course, we've been looking at some of the challenges that widows are confronted with, especially in the area of land acquisition, and also the availability of resources that can help them get empowered in the area of economics. And we all have a role to play as individuals so that these widows, nobody chooses to be a widow. And once that happens, we have to all put our hands together, our heads together, our minds together to work towards making life better for them. The rights of widows are not just for them, but they are human rights that all of us need to protect. On this note, I want to say thank you to Elizabeth Anaf, who is head of programs at Widows and Orphans Movement, Patricia Aichram, she's the Nabdan District Director for Shiraj, and also Bampoka Asina, who is a widow from the Dasobligo community, and Talata Ndabire, who is also a widow from the Dason community. They all joined the discussion today. Thank you very much for making time to listen to us from beginning to the end. My name is Humu Kusum Tahiru, and this has been Daybreak Apa is on A1 Radio. Stay blessed and enjoy the rest of our programs here on A1 Radio.
Nipa, what does the Sudata? Every atiko, every atiko, Nipa be so yet to tremapa. Me want to go Nipa to trio, young fuckers, yes, dear Meta. Nipa me 1 minute, Shaya Dakatia, and I atiko, a ready young coupon boreatio. What's Nipa, what does the Sudata? Every atiko, every atiko, Nipa be so anti-diapa. Me want to go my video, young fire dainty and theater. Nipa me 1 minute, Shaya Dakatia, and I atiko. If it's there, no power. You say I'm go. You no go. Never say I'm go. You find I take a move, I take a no very baby, I move. You no cry, yet to be watching for everything I'm going to see.